Hello viewers, it's Susan at Butler Family Farm, and I wanted to introduce you officially to our domestics. This is Ace, who is the oldest of the group. He actually is Wayne's dog. But when Wayne lived with us, about 4 or 5 years ago, he brought the dog with us, and then Ace has just stayed with us because he lived in a small place, and now he's down at the other end of the farm. But Ace has been here for so long. I said he stays here. You can live on him when you come up, but that's He has a really good life. I don't make him go outside a lot unless he really wants to. Sometimes we make him go out and get the vitamin D. He's approximately 10 or 11 years old, and Wayne got him when he was driving over the road, and Ace would be his companion as he was making his deliveries. Then he changed jobs, and Ace became quote-unquote a house dog per se, and then he moved in with us. So he's about 10. The next one is Hunter. Hunter, can you say hi to everybody? Hunter was given to me by Andrew Hunt when I worked at the Hunt Corporation. And he's about 7 now. I don't have my official notes. But he was a dog that actually never left the facility. Salespeople couldn't sell him to a pet store. And Andrew said to me, "Susan, this dog is 5 months old. He needs a home." And I said, "Andrew, he's a male. We generally stay with females." And he said, "Susan, this dog needs a home. Take him home today." So I did. Jerry's tried to take him with him a few times duck hunting, but he kind of does. He's not a good retriever. He kind of doesn't like the cold. So he spends a lot of time with Lee, with Robert, and he's really good outside, running around and just being one happy puppy. The next one we have is our second Great Dane, which is Jewel. I thought that her black markings look like jewels, and so that's what she goes by. She is a rescue, in a sense, from when I worked at Hunt. She was returned after being sold to a store in Florida. She was returned for having a number 4 heart, which is a pretty serious condition, and we already had a Great Dane at that time, Annie. She's no longer with us, and that's another story. But I brought Jewel home, and she has like a totally different personality than Annie did. Last in this first group of domestics is Lily, who is a hanging tree dog. She is a combination of a Catahoula, a Border Collie, an Aussie, and something, I can't remember the fourth one. And anyway, she came to us when we were looking for a cow dog, and a friend of Jerry's raises them, and he had one, and we said we're interested, and he told us the price, and we said, well, we'll kind of, no thanks, but no thanks. And a few weeks later, he got a hold of us and said that one that he had sold to a guy down in Arkansas said got back with Jeff and said that she wasn't what he was actually looking for, and he'd like to return her. And so they did take her back, and we ended up getting her for a nominal price. To be truthful, she hasn't gone out and did any work, but she will. She still remembers some of the commands, and she's a pretty good dog. She has a funny bark, And what's interesting that about her, and I love about her, is the way her ears perk up with noises like when Robert's walking down the hall, because he'll take him outside, and her ears turn up like little antennae. If you can remember Mork and Mindy, which is probably, nobody remembers Mork and Mindy except for it's Robin Williams. But anyway, he had that, kind of thing, and that's what her ears, when she's moving them, reminds me of. So that's the first set of domestics, and I'll bring the second set as soon as I find out where they're at. This is Carmine, and he's the oldest of our second set of domestics. We have 4 cats. Carmine's story goes back to 2007 when Wayne was living here. He just moved here, and we were out on the south part working, and he could hear this meow, meow. And he went and investigated and found this little kitten. Well, the only thing we can figure out in talking with the neighbors and the neighbors is that he came from down 3/4 of a mile down the road. He followed a guy who would walk from that area up to the post office in Stark City every day, get his mail, and he'd go to his sister's house in Stark City, and she'd read it, and then he'd walk back. And we figured that Carmine followed him one day and got tired and stopped at our place, and we befriended him. Now, we brought cats with us from California who had since passed, so we didn't really have any cats. And I think Jerry was bowling, and when he got home, he said, "We're not bringing the cat." And I said, "Yes, we're bringing the cat in the house." So Carmine came in, and he's named after the Laverne and Shirley Carmine Ragu character in that TV series. So he's 2007. He was just a kitten, so he's going on 13. 13 this. No, he's going on 16. Would that be right? That would make 23. He'll be 16 this August. Diesel is our second cat, oldest cat, and he came from Wayne's house when Wayne lived in Granby. Robert had stopped by there for some reason, I'm not sure what, and the grandchildren, nieces and nephews for him, were kind of teasing or tormenting, he said, the cats. And we had just lost one, and he thought that I was looking for another one, so he snuck Diesel home. And Diesel is an indoor-outdoor cat. He used to go out at night and sometimes not come back, and we'd worry about him, but we could never find him. Well, I don't know, that went on for like 6 months to a year. One night, he came bolting in, and he didn't go outside at night for several days, and we thought it was rather odd because, that was just the norm for him. So since that time, he has not stayed out overnight once. He's ready to come in when it starts getting dark. He sits out by the back door and waits for me to open it and bring him in, and then he heads to the food and drink, and he's out for the night. It's okay. This is our long-haired girl cat, and she wandered away from a home in Stark City, was over across the street at our grain bins, and she's been here about 2 years. But I posted on Facebook about her, and she'd been gone for a couple weeks, and by the time they got back to me and said if she was happy here, that it was okay for her to stay. She was fixed. She's about 4 years old now, and she likes to be outside. And if we don't get her back in the house before dark, then it's really hard to get her to come back in because she has several different hiding spots. Hey, Miss Goldie, come here, come back here. I'm talking about you. Anyway, she's sitting here by the door thinking she's going to figure out how to sneak by us and be outside. Oops, we'll go this way. Be outside. And then it's, really hard to get her back in. But anyway, 4 cats. This kitty cat is just pretty much a year old right now. He looks very much like Carmine, although he's more black and gray, whereas Carmine's got brown in him. And he came as a kitten again. They all came as kittens, or young, less than a year. Anyway, he's got a personality that doesn't stop. He is on the go 75% of the time. Right now it's nap time, but he will take this nap and get energized, and then he is racing. I mean, literally racing up and down the hall, and he goes after the other cats. He doesn't, he plays with them. The girl cat doesn't care for him, but they cohabitate nicely in the evenings. And because of his energy and his bursts of energy, we call him Zippy. Now, Zippy got out one time out the bedroom window because I had opened it. It was a nice night. It was going to be, hot, whatever, I'm not sure. And totally forgot that the screen needed to be repaired. So actually it was Carmine that got out first, and he was missing for a couple days, and I was, of course, stressing over it because, I'd let it happen. I hadn't paid attention. But Zippy got out as well, and that's how we knew, because he was at the front door there. And we let him in. We thought, holy moly. So anyway, that's another story. He does go out, or zips out the front door when we're going in and out ourselves, and we have to, get him back in. He hasn't gone off the porch yet, and Robert actually wants me to get a harness so he can take him out and walk him. But this is a cat that's you've seen hugging Jerry's face, or sitting on Jerry, or just just getting attention. But he's our youngest, and we're all very happy, I think, to have all of them, and they will live their lives out as fat cats and dogs. What are you doing, Lily? Anyway, these guys all have it good because they're in the house when it's cold, and we don't put them outside in the mornings unless it's 40 degrees and the sun is shining, or at least 40 degrees outside. They have some kennels that are you've seen on previous videos, and right now I've got to get everything cleaned out and re-strawed up this spring. That's one of my spring projects. But my bed, they like it. They're on it all the time, and I shake it off, vacuum it. But that's the domestics. Hope you enjoyed this. Anyway, 4 cats. So we have the 4 dogs now. We've had 6, but we're trying to keep it at 4. And now we have 4 cats. And a couple years ago, I said it's not fair to keep the cats locked up in a room. And, when the dogs are out, so everybody's going to have to learn how to cohabitate. And so far we've been successful. There's not been any attacks. There's been some stay away from me, mind your own business, get away from me, I don't like you, kinds of things. But everybody's tolerant, and it kind of all works out. Because, 8 animals in a single wide. Yeah, tell me about it. Thanks for watching.